WWE has 3 PLEs in the month of May. We just came off Backlash, so Saturday night's main event is already 2 Saturdays away from now. These are the matches that I want to see. If you're new here, my name is Daniel, and on this channel I post daily wrestling content from reviews, fantasy bookings, anything under the sun that covers professional wrestling. I just want to preface this by saying I think this is going to be a 5-match card. I'm going to include one honorable mention here: the Women's Tag Team Championships. I am filming this before the May 11th edition of Monday Night Raw. We know Brie and Paige are the tag champs, and there are multiple teams fighting for that #1 contender spot. Maybe we build for a match at Saturday night's main event. I don't know. Or will this be a match at a go home Raw for one of the PLEs? We know the women's tag champs wrestled on both shows, so are we going to get a championship match on Raw, on Smackdown, at Saturday night's main event? I think they would be great to have on that card. When making these videos, it's always hard because I think of all the storylines going on and what WWE realistically might put on. I don't see them putting on a 6-match card for Saturday night's main event. That's just not happening in today's day and age, which is crazy to say with all the talent they have on their roster. So match number 1 that I think is going to happen, and what match I want to see, is the men's Intercontinental Championship match. I think it's going to be a fatal 4-way. We have Penta, who is your champion, and we have Javon Evans, Rusev, and Ethan Page, who all have their names in this scene right now. I don't think we're going to be getting a one-on-one match between Penta and one of those names. For example, if you just have Penta versus Ethan Page, who has pinned Penta already, I could see that being a possibility, but what is Rusev and Javon Evans gonna do? We know that Penta is a fighting champion, and I could totally see him saying, "Pierce, I want all 3 of them." And I do think I think that's a real possibility, so give me a fatal 4-way here. Next, the women's Intercontinental title match. We saw Sol Ruca make her Raw official signings. We also know that she is feuding with Becky Lynch. The reason why I have this here is because we have the story set in place. I don't think these two would require another week to build towards a PLE like for Clash. I think it could happen sooner than that and would be a great addition to the Saturday night's main event card. Up-and-coming new star in Sol Ruca versus a veteran Becky Lynch. Something that's akin to the whole John Cena Classic thing, but you know, she's on the main roster now. But it is a match I am absolutely psyched to see. I do think it happens on Saturday night's main event. Alright bro, I'm not gonna lie, these next 3 can either happen at Saturday night's main event or at Clash in Italy, but they have to happen at some point because you can't just have like 10 matches against the Clash in Italy card. It's just not gonna happen. So where do you put them? I was going back and forth, and you'll see my early Clash in Italy card prediction later in the week. So I think the next match that I would love to see that realistically can happen at Saturday night's main event is the rematch between Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill for the women's title. There is a world where I see a triple threat between Rhea, Jade, and JC. The problem with that is this becomes a totally overbooked match. Now you have 2 trio factions who you know will get involved. You know, basically Rhea Ripley is going to be by herself. Io Sky is not going to Smackdown unless, you know, WWE decides to do that. But you know, that we'll see. Io Sky has nothing to do now after that match with Asuka. Rhea maybe might take one faction at a time here. However, I do think that match would potentially end up in a false finish leading to a triple threat at Clash in Italy. Spoiler alert for my early Clash card prediction. So give me Rhea Jade on this card. I don't see a world where this ends in a clean victory. Again, this match can also happen at Clash in Italy, but with what I already have planned for Clash in Italy, that it will make maybe some kind of sense once you watch that video. I have Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker, the rematch at Saturday night's main event. Seth Rollins at the post-show of Backlash said that his #1 priority right now is to kill the Vision because he can't go to the World Heavyweight Championship scene until he does that. So I feel like that's the story of the entire summer that Seth Rollins is going to be playing at. I was between 2 matches here, alright? And I think a lot of this hangs on the health status of Bronson Reed. Maybe we see the return of Bronson Reed at Saturday night's main event. I don't know. There were 2 matches that I had in mind here. The first match I had in mind was Seth Rollins and the Profits versus the Vision. Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and Bron Breakker. And then I was like, there's one missing person here. The reason why I strayed away from that 6-man tag is because on Raw, we have seen the Street Profits very hesitant on working with Seth because of their history Seth Rollins has. I think it would be way too early for the Street Profits to go back on that. I do believe they'll end up teaming up, but not this soon. So give me Seth versus Bron Breakker 2. I have no idea what that finish looks like though. Okay. And this one's going to be a little controversial, but something I could totally see WWE doing. Do I want to see this match particularly? not so much. With the way this feud has been booked so far, I can totally see a world where this match happened. I'm talking a match between Jacob Fatu versus the Usos. Will he have a tag partner? I don't know. Again, I'm filming this before the Monday Night Raw of May 11th, where there is apparently going to be a Jacob Fatu acknowledges Roman Reigns ceremony. We know that's not going to happen, guys. We saw how Backlash ended. I don't think that we're done with this Jacob and Roman story. I do think they're going to have a one last rematch. If Roman Reigns shows up on Raw tonight, I do think he'll be the victim of a Tongan death grip. The Usos are going to step in. Jey Uso's going to be like, hey, Us, that's not cool. Yeet. And then I think Jacob Fatu will want to take out the Usos. He said he's going to burn down the family tree if the Usos get involved. I think whatever happens tonight on Raw, that will happen. And we're going to get a match with Jacob Fatu versus the Usos of some sort. Whether it's a handicap match or Jacob Fatu is going to pull a partner from somewhere. We've seen Royce Keys on Smackdown continually having these backstage segments. So maybe Royce Keys gets roped into all this, which I don't want to see, but that's what we're being fed right now. And I think that's a very realistic direction that WWE can take. I do think that's going to be one of the matches, bro. That's a very Saturday night main event type of match right there. Yeah, as you can see, I don't have a men's world title match on here. I just don't think that's realistic. US titles, the men's and the women's, they are starting new fresh storylines, which I think needs at least another week to marinate. And Liv Morgan, I don't think there's going to be a women's title match this fast, this soon at Saturday night's main event. That's just what I think. I want Liv Morgan to be in like a substantial feud, not just like a very quick, oh, let's have a match right now. Saturday night's main event is next Saturday from the time of this recording. There's only 2 episodes. Tonight's Raw, May 11th and May 18th. I would love to have a story versus something that just gets strung up very quickly. That being said, that was a little teaser for my early Clash in Italy card prediction. What matches do you guys want to see at Saturday night's main events on May 23rd? Leave it in the comments section below. Until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Always remember to be yourself, love yourself, and do what makes you happy. Peace out, guys.